we will, as I told you, we will go in detail with these two tools, information design tool and web intelligence. Web intelligence is a reporting tool. Information design tool is like a schema designing. It is like a designing tool. The name itself says like it's a design. So we will design our objects which we required for reporting in information design tool. So why I am starting with this is you so that you can have a fair understanding of databases, how what process goes in between handling and designing this schemas which we use for reporting purpose. If we directly jump to reporting, we will not know like how we are getting objects like the dimensions, key figures, where are we getting them, what are the background processes happens there. So we don't know. So for that purpose, what I am trying to do is I'll start with information design tool. We will we will work on, I mean, I'll tell you all the options in the tool. We will see like how it is to create a universe using some tables, by using importing tables and by creating some joins and all like what is the data warehouse, like a data warehouse terminology you will be understanding using this tool. You might not require to create universe all the time in the project, because all the projects, current projects, or all the reports we create based on the old universes only mostly. Sometimes we might need to add some objects or do some modifications, that's it. But we will not create a universe from scratch in the real-time projects, because uh, already the projects which are running are mostly will be using the old universes which are created. We are supporting that only. So but it will be useful for your understanding point of view. So you don't worry if you feel like it is too complex and all. If you don't need to worry, because we will focus more on our reporting in web intelligence, which will help like if you are perfect with report creation in web intelligence, you can create any visualization with other tools also, because the basic concept is same. Like by understanding the dimensions and key figures, understanding how we can include that in the report, how we can format and all. If we know that reporting in Webby, it is easy to switch to other visualization tools in future also, like Tableau or SAC, whatever it is. They have a more what we say, more options, and those are very user friendly compared to Webby. So if you know how to create a report in web intelligence, you can easily switch to other visualization tool based on the requirement in future. So for that also, to have some background understanding, we are going with information design tool, how to create universe and all. But you should not be worrying like it is so complex, I'm not able to understand. You don't need to worry much, because it is for our understanding purpose only. I am telling you, we will not create universe from scratch in the projects. Even I'm working since, I mean, I'm working for around 10 years. It is hardly we created a universe from scratch. We always do some enhancements, some modifications only for the existing universes. So in that case, so we will go ahead, and please don't worry if you feel it is little complex also. You don't need to worry. It is for our basic understanding point of view I am teaching this. So as part of information design tool IDT, these are the topics that we will cover, like what is the introduction to IDT, and what is a project, what is a connection. As I told you earlier, there are some predefined steps to create a universe in IDT. Like first we will create a project, later we will create a connection, then data foundation, then business layer, then we will check for the security, and then we'll convert that if there are any old universes. uh, .unv, .unx is nothing but we are currently using information design tool. It is a newer version. We also have other tool like universe design tool. It is also more or less similar, but the user interface is a little bit different. But other than that, the purpose is same. IDT is a newer version of universe design tool. So if you create any universe in the universe design tool, which is older version, that will be saved as a .unv file. So Now if you want to use or enhance that in information design tool, we need to information design tool creates the reports and saves in the form of .unx. So if you want to use the older versions of universes which are created by using UDT, you can import them using IDT and you can convert them to the newer version. So that is the difference between .unv and .unx. That means .unv is a universe created using universe design tool, which is the older version of tool. .unx is a universe created using information design tool, which is a newer version in 4.1 onwards. We are getting that IDT. Even till now, I mean, in these projects, I mean, what we say, like even projects in these days also, there are projects which use universe design tool also. So there is no nothing to worry. The concept is more or less similar. The user interface and the steps might different, but the main concept is same in both the tools. So we will go ahead with the IDT. Here it is the definition of information design tool. Information design tool is a SAP Business Objects metadata design environment. As I told you already, it is for designing metadata that enables a designer to extracting tables, defining them, like we will give proper definitions for objects and all, and manipulate metadata from relational and OLAP sources. Manipulate metadata means we can write some formulas here. We don't need to directly use the objects coming from database itself. Sometimes we need to enhance them, or sometimes we need to perform some complex calculations which we generally do in Excel. Those kind of calculations or formulas, variables we will create. So that is nothing but manipulating metadata from relational and OLAP sources to create and deploy SAP Business Objects universes. We will create universes using this information design tool, and we will deploy it to a repository so that we can consume this universe as a source for our web intelligence or dashboards, any kind of reporting. Most of the SAP reporting tools use universe as a data source. So that is about information design tool. Here it comes who uses the information design tool. As I told you already, it can be used by a database administrator. He can use it for his security purpose. Administrator, what they do, they will create some users and they will create some security, like which user is eligible to access for which universe, which report. So that can be done in the IDT level itself. So a database administrator can access this, or application manager, or a developer like us, or a project manager, or a report creator, as you are going to create reports in future. So even you might need to have a basic understanding of IDT, so that it's not like I'll stick to only this tool and I'll not understand anything background, means that is no use. So to have that background knowledge also, it is better to have enough technical skills to create universes for other users. You don't need to create an entire universe from the scratch, but you should know like what is happening there, how we are joining, or how we are creating objects and all. So these universes which we create using IDT can be consumed by these reporting tools, like interactive analysis is nothing but Launchpad or Web Intelligence, Crystal Reports, Business Objects Explorer, Business Objects Dashboard Design. So these all tools can consume universe as a source, and they will create a reports for end users. These are the we have to familiar with these terms in the information design tool. So project, it is like a named local workspace. So if you are creating something, first we need to create a project, and inside that we will create whatever we are creating, so that it will be like a folder name, main folder, that kind of thing will be there. So first we need to create a project. It contains one or more resources that are used to share metadata to build a universe. Connection, connection is very important here, because whatever we want to create, we are importing some tables. So where are we importing these tables from? They are from any database, like it can be relational database like MySQL or Oracle, or some other OLAP databases like SAP BW, BSES, SAP BW and all. So if the source is a BEX query, we can just create a BICS connection here, and we can directly consume that BEX query as a data source for our web intelligence. We don't need to create all other data foundation business layer if the source is BEX query. But if the source is Oracle or MySQL, that those databases stores information in form of tables. So first we need to have a connection to that database. So we should give proper connection, and proper drivers should be installed to access that connection and all. So that is about connection. First, we will create a project. Inside that, we will create a connection to relational or OLAP database, and we will give the database name, data source name and all. So once the connection is established, so that we can access the tables of the particular database which we are connected. After creating that connection, we will go to data foundation. Data foundation layer is nothing but it is a schema of tables. Like we will add whatever the tables required for our reporting purpose. So in generally in our project, we will get a blueprint or a technical specification document kind of thing. There they will mention everything, like what are all the tables required, what are all the joints which we should how tables are related to each other. So which joints we should put, everything will be provided by an architect, so that our report developers, we can go ahead and create universe based on that document, so that they will mention everything detailedly, like these are the list of tables which we need for this universe, these are the joints, and these are the objects we need. And sometimes the objects formulas and all we might need to create ourselves, or based on our discussions with our team lead or our manager or architect, we will go ahead and create. So once we create a connection, we will create a data foundation. There we will add the tables which are required, and we will join based on the required logic and all. We will join the tables. If you see here, data foundation is a schema that defines the relevant tables and joins from one or more relational databases. As I told you earlier, it can be from single source. The data foundation can be a single source or a multi-source. So if we are combining data or tables from multiple sources, we will select the option of multi-source universe. If it is only from single source or like Oracle, we will go ahead and select single source. After creating data foundation, we will go ahead and create a business layer. In business layer, as I told you earlier, like there will be classes and objects. So like product, under product, product will be a class name. Under product, we will create a product name, product ID, quantity. So those kind of objects, key dimensions and key figures we will create, and we will write, we will map those objects to the required columns of the tables. So that thing is done in business layer. So here, if you see here, a business layer is a collection of metadata objects that provides an abstraction of relational database entities or OLAP cubes understandable by a business user. Here it is important why we create business layer is sometimes database it will be stored by some data entry operators. They write something, they might name the columns as something that they understand, but it is not we can say, like, it is not always possible for the business to understand those names which are defined by database level. So in that layer, we should not confuse the business. So we will use the business friendly terms here, so that when they are using for the reporting, they'll understand quick right away, like so that it will be what we say, business user friendly here. The reports, they will understand it. It is not so technical for them. They'll understand the report, and they will use for their business decisions purpose. So it should not be technical for the business people, because they have so much of work other than this technical thing. They have so much of work to do in a business side. They will think in other perspectives. So we should make the reports very clear for them. So that is the purpose. We will create the objects as understandable by a business user. Query. Query is like a set of objects that define a request to the database for data. If someone is asking, if some user is asking, like, what is the sales revenue for the region Canada, and in 2021 quarter 3. If they ask like that, how can you say by using tables? We cannot say, we cannot go and check like this much of query we cannot write there. So that purpose of thing, like if we create proper objects and proper data foundation, those purposes can be fulfilled. So the query is the example of query, as I told you, like what is the sales revenue for 2021 Q3 for Canada region. We can just directly drag and drop some objects and we can uh, show the report. Otherwise, what we can do is we can also write SQL. If it is a database side, we can write a SQL, that is a structured query language, to select sales revenue from, if we know the table names, sales revenue from what we say, from the sales table where region equal to this and year equal to this, quarter equal to this, we can do that. But to write in SQL, it should be a technical person only can do that. But why we are creating these things is so that business user, end user can also analyze or can also create the reports without having any understanding of SQL. They will directly drag and drop the objects and they'll get the required output what they want. In the back end, if we just drag also, in the back end is what business objects do is there will be SQL generated in the back end, but they do not, that complexity is not required for the end user. So in for that purpose only this tool is designed. Parameters. A parameter is a variable in the business layer that require a value at query time. It is like a prompt. We can put like a parameter for select year. It can be a parameter. So whenever we refresh a report, it will ask for us to select which year to run the report. We can give the year which we want, 2021, 22, or 20, and we can run the report. That is a parameter. It is like a variable which we create in the business layer. List of values. A list of values is a collection of data values that can be associated with an object in the universe, allowing the user to choose values for a prompt. List of values is like if you say we might create year prompt in the reporting layer, and user do not some users might what we say, like they do not know like how to enter, or how it is set up. So what they can do is, instead of entering, they can select from the given list of values. So that is possible if we have a list of values from the universe side. If we attach some list of values, like if for year, if we attach some 20 to 30 years where the reporting is possible, around from 2000 to 2030, if we pass those list of values along with that object in the reporting layer, when they refresh, everything I'll show in the screen also. I'm just telling here to understand. So that is possible using list of values. So universe, you already know, like everything what we create, the final output is a universe here. Once it is perfect without any errors, we will export, or we will publish that to repository to consume for our reporting purpose. Session. A session contains a CMS system name, authentication information needed to access resources stored in a repository. We have to create a session. We have to connect to a session using our credential, so that we will create some resources, and we can, so then only we can access the resources in the repository. This is the workflow of IDT. First, we will create a project. Later, we will create a connection inside that, connection to database, whether it is Oracle or MySQL or SAP HANA, anything. After that, after establishing a connection to the database, we will create a data foundation where we will include the tables and joins. After that, we will create a business layer where we will have that folder structure of dimensions and key figures. So once everything is ready, we will then it is a time for our universe to publish to repository. This is the workflow that we follow in IDT. Sorry. Here, before going to the tool itself, I have some screenshots so that you can just see like what is the menu bar, what is the workspace and all. If you see here, this is the menu bar. Here we have a file option, edit, window, help, uh, some other options like checking integrity and all. It is for security editor and all. This is called a menu bar. And here, this is a local project window. Or whenever we are creating any local projects, we are creating from the scratch, it will be saved here. Then after everything is ready, we can send that to our publish that to a repository. Then it will be saved in the repository view. This is the workspace where we include the tables, make the joins, and also this is the menu bar. This is a local project window. This is the repository view. This is the workspace, and it is a status bar. It will show like whether it is loading, whether connection is loading, or whether data foundation layer is loading. Everything, it is like a status bar. Local project, the first step in creating resources in the information design tool. First step, what we do is to create a local project. We create and edit all resources in a local project except secured connections and security profiles. We will create a local project and we can edit anything there. There are several ways we can populate local project with resources. New project, and here we can do like that, or we can just right click on new project. We can go like that also. So one other operations you do on local resource include, if we just need to right click on the connection, then you can publish that connection to a repository. If the already connection is made, you can just right click on this connection and we can publish to repository. We can show dependent resources, like what are all dependent with each other. We can see that we can publish business layer as a universe to the local file system or repository. We can check the integrity of data foundation and business layer. So everything we can do by right clicking into the local project, and by going to particular resource, right click and do the action. Shared projects. Previously we seen local project, which is for individual thing. Shared project is like in a project, if you have if in your project there are two or three designers, then what you can do is you can create that project as a shared project, so that once you complete something, and if someone else is wanted to add or enhance that, they can directly go to that same access the shared project, and they can enhance, or they can do the remaining work. So to keep that in the synchronization, we have these options, like this is a general workflow that we need to follow. We have to, from the project synchronization view, in a selected shared project, log the resources you want to work on. Whenever you want to work on, first you need to log the resources so that other users cannot edit or change at the same time. So once you log and you do all your work, and then you can release, so that once you have made your changes in the project synchronization view, synchronize the project to save your changes on the server, so that you can synchronize, so that it will be saved in the server level. Then you can unlock the resources. Then the designer too can maybe you are on leave, or you done your work, and some other need to do some other work in that thing. If you split the work, then they can do the remaining part by following the same procedure using the project synchronization view option. So first, after creating a project, we have covered the project now, local project and shared project. Then what we create is a connection. A connection is a named set of parameters that define how one or more SAP Bobj application can access relational or OLAP database. It is like how you are going to access, whether it is a local connection or secure connection. If you want to publish your universe to repository, you always should have a secure connection. So it is always recommended to create a connection in local. If you are thinking of publishing the universe to repository and consuming it for web intelligence, you definitely need to publish it to a repository. That connection we have to, what we can do is right click and we can publish to that secure connection, so that it is local connections and connection shortcuts are used for the following purpose. To access these things we can use for. See here, this is the connection tab. Like once you create click on new connection, here it comes like what is the resource name you want to put, the connection name, what connection name you want to put. After keeping the connection name, it will ask for the database middleware driver selection, on which database you are going to connect to, whether it is IBM database or whether it is generic database, Apache, or we also have Oracle database or MySQL. If you want to create to MS Access database, then we have to go to Microsoft, and underneath we have to select the which data source we are going to connect, so that those particular drivers will be installed on our system and we can access. So here we have shown like generic ODBC drivers. We will give the username password, which we are given by our network people. Once we have the access, they will share our what data source need to be selected, what is the username and what is the password. So based on that, we will give the username, password, and we will select the data source name as eFashion. eFashion is like a demo database, a demo database. So it is for training purpose. We always use eFashion database. It contains multiple tables, and everyone who is mostly anyone who is starting to learn web intelligence or BO reporting, they'll go and use this eFashion, which is specifically designed for training purpose. So we will connect and we will say the test connection. If the details are correct and if the server is responding, then it is say like the connection is successful. Then we will go to the finish screen, so that connection will be created.